Hello everyone, once again it's Shield Wall 100 and I'm here to talk about the Halloween batch of releases from Night Models in a quick critique of their, the models and the rules a little bit too. It's going to be a bit of fun, some really lovely releases as I'm about to show you, and going to get into what they actually can do on the tabletop and whether they're really, worthwhile purchases. Also going to have a quick look at the build quality as well. I've assembled them all now and we'll go through them in a second. Just so, word of warning, the stat cards for these still haven't been released on the website. I think they're having a bit of trouble with these ones because I think a member of staff might have had something unfortunate go on, so I think he might be the one who uploads the cards or something. I'm not sure, not 100% certain, but they're not there yet, but we are assured they will be coming. So the ones I'm going to show you are going to be kind of bootleg versions I've managed to print off of the Discord, and they're pretty lousy quality, but for our purposes hopefully okay. Anyway, let's get into it and have a look at our first models. Okay, as you can see, we're going to start with the Harley Quinn Halloween version, obviously masquerading as a witch. I'm not sure if this ties into a comic book cover or something, or a piece of promotional artwork perhaps. I'm not 100% certain, sorry, just slipped there for a second. Yeah, a lovely model, you can see that here, and yeah, she's got her trademark mallet, your face here, and yeah, good, really good sculpt. You can, I'm just trying to get it so you can see her face from underneath the hat, but it's all detailed and it's all there. The fully sculpted base as well, also presumably like whatever artwork this is based on, if at all. I presume it really is. And yeah, it's great model again. I'm very pleased with it. In terms of the ease of build, it was it was a yeah, there's no pieces which were tricky to put together. This one in particular was nice and simple, was quite sturdy. This material they use doesn't shatter or snap, so not really. So I mean, I'll be quite comfortable with her falling off the top of a building and in game, that is, not a real building. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything getting too damaged anytime soon. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty straightforward, if you like. That it's a kind of like almost a pin-up pose, but it's a standard model. You can make your own decision for yourself as to whether it's an essential one on the model alone, but I can assure you the build quality is pretty excellent. Right, let's stand up and have a look at the old rules. Don't forget, these are horrible paper printouts. This one actually came out better than the others, I think, so yeah, make of that what you will. But yeah, she's a free agent. Affiliation completely unknown there, is what it says. So yeah, she can actually, this model can go with any crew, including the Batman crew. Obviously Harley Quinn flirts with the good side sometimes too. 77 rep free agent, so pretty standard stats for that kind of points bracket. 7 willpower endurance, 4 and 4 for attack and defense, and a fast model's movement rate there. Her hammer, your face here, very rare triple stun damage, with a good set of weapon traits there as well. Push to knock people potentially off buildings as well. So yeah, you got some good potential synergies here as well with other models, but it's not handy, so don't go expecting to be getting those rerolls, because you won't. But yeah, she can, it's a standard pretty Harley Quinnish sort of stat line as you'd expect. And the traits also, there's nothing here that you wouldn't really expect to find on Harley Quinn, with one exception. So acrobat, of course. Charismatic's interesting because that means that she doesn't take up your entire free agent rank, so you can do some pretty quirky builds perhaps with this Harley Quinn. Combat flip is an odd special action to take, to have, but it can be useful. That 3 inches to get yourself out of combat is kind of interesting and weird. Or maybe you combat flip from one model into combat with another. Could be interesting. Confusion's a handy one, again, potential to annoy your opponent at range. Fast gives her a movement 14. Acrobatic adds, acrobat earlier gives her a 15-inch move, which is among the fastest you're going to get outside flying models. True Love Joker, so this one is still definitely under his spell, and good, a little bit more synergy with the Joker crew again, but I always find that True Love's not a great trait, because if you find yourself needing to use it, you're probably in a bit of shit anyway, because your opponent has done something horrible to usually your best model. And a bit of magic, what that means is she counts as a magic user even though she isn't one. has absolutely no bearing so far on any rules anywhere in 3rd edition as far as I'm aware. So yeah, maybe it will tie in with something later on, maybe it won't, I don't know. But again, I mean, this is literally a themed thing. I doubt it actually has any real bearing on her points cost or anything like that, so you know, never mind. Yeah, this is a standard Harley Quinn sort of stat line. If you love the character, go nuts, and you want a special model. If you've already got her, you know, especially the free agent, which I also believe can ally with anyone, is there any real need to have this model as well? I'd say not. In your collection, not really, unless again it's down to the aesthetics of the model itself. Do you want something a bit different? A Halloween theme model's cool, maybe you've got a themed game or something you want to do, or a themed crew. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to. It's entirely down to you. I think this is a cracking model. I'm glad I've got her because I'm a bit of an enthusiast and I have my models in display cabinets and I like to show them off. If you just have yours tucked away in a case somewhere, maybe you won't. So you know, everything's your own mileage may vary. I don't pretend to be the de facto opinion on all these things, so there you go. Okay, but there you go, that's the Harley Quinn Halloween special. And yeah, I think she's a good cracking model, and nothing to let her down in the stats department either. You know, she's fast, she'll hit hard as usual. That can tie in with a good few crews, to be perfectly honest, who need their opponents knocked out rather than killed. So there you are, and she can get where she needs to be as well. All right, let's carry on and move on to the next one. Continuing the Halloween theme, we're going with the Red Rain Batman. Very interesting model, as I'm sure you can see. Very different to the usual beefy Bruce Wayne we know. I'm pretty damn sure this is based off a cover artwork somewhere for the Red Rain series, where Bruce Wayne himself, after taking down Dracula, becomes Dracula, or the proxy, yeah, a vampire lord of some sort. Haven't read it. Should do, can't be bothered. There you go, that's the thing. Probably will one day, actually, to be perfectly honest. When I find it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I haven't read that, and pick it up. But there you go. He also, this design kind of ties in with especially the long ears very closely to some of the other comic books I've seen, you know, with like alternate cover art and stuff. Some of them really portray Batman as this kind of horror character with really thin, long, pointy ears and stuff. So kind of like that aesthetic as well. But here's the model, very closely based, so I'm guessing they must have taken a few liberties when doing the other side, because there we go, here he is again, focus please, there you go. But yeah, cracking detail for all the parts, you know, goes together really well, standing in front of his own grave, what a boss. And yeah, look at the detail, look at the spine showing through the cape. I love that touch. That's horror. That is horror going on under the cape there. But yeah, I'm really quite pleased with this. A tiny coffin full of skulls. Why not? You know, carry that everywhere you go. Definitely. Yeah, cracking figure. Goes together easily. Piece of cake to clean up, really, and another sculpted base to pop over, so he's not standing amongst all this on the standard cobblestone. So yeah, no complaints here about the model or the build quality. Nothing missing. Nope, nothing missing at all. Great, love him. Let's see his rules, because he is playable, interestingly playable as well. Right. Okay, here's the stat card, probably the worst one because I had to take it off Discord. He is a leader for the Batman crew, so he's just because he's a baddie vampire and looks like that, he ain't evil. 150 rep, kind of an interesting rep for a Batman, because yeah, they do tend to go in between the 120 to 150, even up to 160 reps. So he's at the top end of average, I'd say. So you expect great things from him. 7 willpower, and that must be his lust for blood coming out, because he's usually at least 8, and 9 endurance there because, well, he's a vampire now. Standard Batman stats, 5'5", 2+ strength though. That's kind of horrible. And movement 12. So he's losing all those pounds has actually increased his speed somewhat. That's pretty cool. So yeah, he's definitely changed in his stat line quite a lot. You know, in some respects from the traditional Bruce Waynes of usual. He's still got his batlings though. Didn't get rid of those for his 2 stun throwing weapon attack. So you know, there you go. Still not killing people at range, at least. Bat cape and bat armor. Now, I'm not sure if bat armor is due to stay for a reason I'll come to later on. he's got claws instead of reinforced gloves, so he's dealing split, blood and stun damage instead of double stun, which in realistic terms means he might seem less of a threat overall because when you're doing damage to both endurance and willpower at the same time, you feel like you're on a bit of an uphill battle. But that said, this Batman can kill people, which is scary shit, really, when you get down to it, because the stats on this, and he's, especially with his 2-up strength die as well, he's going to be getting a lot of hits on you, and that's going to add up eventually. So yeah, detective, it's a cool rule. It's would be damn shame if he didn't have it, because yeah, Batman without detective kind of does struggle somewhat to score points. He's got fly, so you know, movement 12 and fly now. He's going places and he is getting where he needs to be. So it's replacing his back claw, as you may well have noticed, but flies yeah, makes him way more maneuverable than your usual Batman. So he hits harder and he's more maneuverable, so that's what you can take away this so far. Leading from the shadows is cool. It means if he's not on the board, which will, you know, he might start off the board basically as well. It means he covers the entire board in his inspiration radius, so all your henchmen get inspired even if you're not, you know, even if he's not on the board, which is a great thing for Batman. Probably only be for the first turn, and even then only the first part of the first turn, because you're going to bring him on as soon as possible, but it does mean you're not at a massive disadvantage for taking him, and why should you be? Master of Stealth, as a lot of Batmen have, can't be seen from more than 6 inches away. Ooh, scary. Shadowed Nightmare, super rule. It's Victor Zaz's deployment rule, if that's how I think of it anyway. It basically means he can start off the board and then deploy near a suspect marker that an enemy puts down. Gross, sick, disgusting, and then he can activate and kill them and whatnot. It's just, if you add into that with sneak attack, you can just make sure that your opponents are terrified to put down suspect markers. And yeah, I think actually you can put it down next to your own suspect, you know, when you deploy a suspect marker as well, but it's much nastier to do it to your opponent as well because yeah, that you're putting it down right near their crew and killing and hurting them. Yeah, I think he also gives them enervating when he deploys as well, any henchmen nearby too. So nasty stuff. I mean, this guy this guy's fear incarnate now, you know. That's pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, and then 2 traits I can't see, but I believe they're both relating to vampirism or something. I do believe one of them makes him even tougher, something about reducing the number of incoming attack dice and stuff, which would, if it combines with bat armor, is just too disgusting, removing 2 dice or something. Yeah, I'm guessing the other vampiric one is probably something that lets him get his blood back. Again, unfortunately, I don't have the app, so I can't check this stuff, and the vampiric traits aren't in the compendium as it stands either, so I have no way of knowing. Even if I knew what these were called, I wouldn't know what they did. So yeah, I'm kind of stuffed on that one, unfortunately. So never mind. Someday Night will get the rules up for him officially. Basically, though, what I believe you can take away is one of these rules makes him tougher, even tougher, and the other one I think will probably give him something like the ability to get life back from either from killing or damaging enemies, which is as if he needs that anyway. But yeah, what you got is a really fast, nasty Bruce Wayne vampire Batman. He, you know, some of the other versions of him may actually do more damage. This guy's split damage, and therefore might not be able to go in and reliably take down like mid-level people in 1 turn. But overall, his damage output can do blood damage and stuff. So overall, it's a interesting, different way of looking at a Bruce Wayne. You know, it's you know, sometimes you just need to do blood damage, and stun just doesn't do it. So for 150 points, he's still the usual big investment. Is he is he worth it or not? That's a big old debate for another time. That's across all Batmen, not just this one. This is a solid, different one though. And again, it's important to have difference in your Batman. And again, do you need him? Again, it's very much as to whether or not you like the aesthetic of the model. If you don't like this thin, reedy, toothy Batman, then, well, no, of course not. You know, I never buy anything just for rules anyway, to be honest. So, but again, I didn't want to miss out on this guy. I do like the overall theme, and again, who knows, maybe I'll do something with a theme game sometime. Okay, right, well, there you go. Let's move on, see what's next. Next up, we're moving away from the Halloween theming of this time. We're going for more general releases, and it's this is a sidekick for the Batman crew. I think everyone will know Nightwing, who's been involved in the comics at all over the years. It's not. I don't think this is tied in with any particular comic book art. This isn't a rebirth or a new 52 or an animated series Nightwing. This is just a Nightwing, and he fits the bill. I mean, there's never been much difference in his character design really, apart from changing his colour of his stripe every now and again. But no, this is Nightwing, and what a lovely figure. I hope you agree. I think this is smashing. Another easy build. I was a bit worried that his right arm, the one that's holding the pillar, I was a bit worried the hand was missing, but then I found it was sculpted onto the pillar itself. So phew. Nothing wrong there. I like this. I like this pose. I think putting him on a pillar isn't like a bad thing for a model. Some people seem to. I have no problem with that, because rarely do figures in war games, unless there's ranked up for like units or something like that for Warhammer or Ancients or something, rarely do the models actually, their pose, etc., completely suit their surroundings and situation anyway. So I mean, even if they're standing on flat on the ground, there's usually no reason for them to be holding their arms in that particular pose or whatever. So putting them on a pillar like this, I don't see a problem. I mean, end of the day, I'll be having him on top of a roof or something half the time, so that this pose wouldn't be too terrible anyway. So yeah, I don't honestly, people griping about that kind of thing kind of confuses me a little bit sometimes. And if it means you can get a good characterful pose out of a model, I say they go for it. This is so good. And there's all the detail on his face. If it was focused, please. Just about. Come on. You can see his mask is completely molded in. No need to just paint it on and hope that it looks right. It's molded on there. It's all good. And he's doing he's scouting out things for Batman there, or himself. He's his own man, don't forget. Right, let's have a look at his rules, and we got a good one here. I do like Nightwing in the rules anyway, all the traditional ones, and this guy does what he does and more. So here we go. So sidekick for Batman, as you expect, 94 rep, putting this version of Nightwing among the top of his of his incarnations, and let's see why. So his stats, you'll see, is exactly pretty much what you'd expect for Nightwing. 7/7 willpower and endurance, fair enough. 4 and 4 for his attack and defense, kind of low for his reputation maybe, but he's fast, as you can see. 12-inch movement range and 4+ strength, no problem there. His usual battlings and his sticks, his what they call his screamer sticks, I think they are, and mechanical, handy, and electric on those. So you've seen these before in terms of what his stats. So he's got all those attacks. He's handy, so he's re-rolling misses, and mechanical gives him a 3-up on the strength roll instead of his normal 4-up. The battlings are his usual throwing weapons as well. No, there's only one round of he's only got one round of those, which is an interesting choice. There's usually at least 2 on all your Batman figures, all your Bat crew, Bat family, should we say, figures. At least 2, maybe 3, but yeah, 1 this time. Don't know if that's deliberate. I mean, it's obviously deliberate, but I don't know what the thinking is behind that. But you don't usually throw more than 1 anyway. Go Acrobat to give him movement 13, so solid. Batclaw as well for that occasional boost of speed and also maneuverability. Always on the move is sick, and I love it. It basically means that he can split his move either side of his attack action, which is godlike in this game. And I really like it because it just differentiates this Nightwing from not only other versions of Nightwing, but also other characters in the Bat family as well, because I don't think any of the others have it. I think might also be the only reason he's got 1 round of ammo for his battling, because so he can move a bit, get into range, throw his battlings, and then move either back out of range or sight, or just carry on to annoy somewhere else. It's so good. Charismatic is more a Dick Grayson rule than a useful one for his model, I think, because it enables you to take 2 free agents in the crew, but you're already spending 94 rep on this guy anyway, so unless you want to go really hard on like weird free agents or something, then it's like a shoe henchman to the point where you're not getting much else out of it altogether. So odd crews, but then if you're doing that, you might as well go Bat Family. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, combo sticks. So yeah, he's still got combo on his main close combat weapon, so he is not losing any damage output compared to his other incarnations. Martial artist to stop him from suffering from being outnumbered is awesome. Search is great. -1 enemy resource point is just nasty, especially if you've got more than one searcher in your crew. But even having one can just hobble some of the crews so badly. Two-Face especially. Shadowed Nightmare, as we just discussed with the Halloween Batman, is great too. Allows you to take this guy and keep him off the board until you need him. Again, given the points investment, you're probably going to want him on turn 1 at some point anyway, but generally everyone's putting down suspects in turn 1, so he'll get on the board. And yeah, just the ability to put this very fast model just where you need him is just scary. And finally, Vigilante's work, which I had to look up on the Discord again. Thank goodness for you guys, or I'd be stuffed. Vigilante's work is great. It basically means you can, during his movement, he can spend an effort, so take a point of stun damage, to gain an extra manipulate action, which is brilliant. Super good for a sidekick. Anyone who's not a henchman basically would kill for this role. And excuse me, because sidekicks can't be inspired by the bosses. They can't even inspire themselves. So this getting this extra manipulate action allows him to move, attack, and put down a suspect marker. Really helps in the low model count crews like Batman can be, and yeah, it ties in with a hell of a lot of the Batman crews objective cards. So it's just so useful to have that extra manipulate. I mean, heck, he could use Vigilante's work to move through a sewer, and then use his normal tactical action just to throw his batlings when he got out the other side. So brilliant stuff. Yeah, really happy with that. And this is definitely the definitive version of Nightwing as far as I'm concerned for rules. I really like him when it comes to his model. Let's get that back up. There was one thing I wanted to address. A lot of people saying this guy's pretty beefy and big compared to other models in the range. That's much better. Sorry about that. Before, that is. And yeah, you're right. This guy is on the large side. I compared him to these previous Nightwing incarnation, and he is a full head taller, I would say, which is interesting. I mean, it's not massively noticeable, to be perfectly honest, when you're putting them next to each other. No, except when you put them right next to each other, sorry. He's actually kind of on a par with the height of Red Hood, the latest Red Hood in this material, so maybe there is a little bit of scale creep going on across the range as a whole, and yeah, we'll see. But when he's standing on top of a building, yeah, and there's models down there, there's really nothing, you won't notice that much. I wouldn't say this is a deal breaker by any means. Again, some people, I think, just look for things to complain about, maybe. Sorry, cheeky to say that, but I really don't think this guy's as noticeably big as, say, Gotham Butcher, who is still, to my mind, stupidly big compared to his size even in the comics, and to the point that's breaking the suspension of disbelief as far as I'm concerned. Not this guy, all right? And yeah, I'll die on that hill, I really will. But yeah, it's up to you as to what you see. Again, to my mind, if someone rocked up with a different Nightwing and wanted to use this guy's rules, I probably wouldn't be too upset, as long as I was told beforehand. But yeah, this one is definitely worth a purchase. I think this one's lovely, and can't wait for the rules to be uploaded to the website. Hint, hint, Night Models, please. And finally today we have Barbara Gordon. This is the last model I'm covering, and she is again not Halloween themed, just a normal crew member, shall we say. This is Barbara Gordon, my favourite Batgirl, of course. I liked Cassandra Cain a lot, but Barbara Gordon should always be Batgirl as far as I'm concerned. And here we are again on a from the rooftops, one would hope, unless you got one of those weird ground floor chimneys going on near you. But yeah, again, another great model as far as I'm concerned. It goes together really well, maybe the least well of the four is to my mind. You couldn't run into some troubles with the head because you have the torso, then you glue the cape on to the torso, then you glue the head onto the cape, which is on the torso. And if you haven't been 100% careful with the cape, you might find out that the head looks like it's somewhere dislocated and about halfway up her shoulder, or across her arm past her shoulder even, and then you have to reposition the cape because you realise you're an idiot and you got it wrong. That might happen to you, I don't know, it happened to someone I know, and so there you are. And it's it's a bit, as it is, I think she turned out all right once I worked out what I was doing. Hang on, I'd just like to show the tiny little detail. There's her line is held onto the thing. You can see the Batling holding the line onto the top of the chimney. I really like that. Nice sturdy line, as you can see. Obviously they're not taking any chances in terms of this, so the rope is kind of thick, but I'll go with that. Just about to throw a Batling she is, and I really like this pose. It's cool. Barbara Gordon's awesome. Yeah, and again, if you like the model, you'll like the model. If you don't like models up on chimneys, then I guess this really isn't for you, I suppose. I mean, again, most of my models sort of like start on top of roofs, so I'm okay with it, and rarely do models represent their proper their proper situation on a board anyway, even if they are all on the ground floor, etc., etc. So I don't really see the massive sin here. I think anything's good. If it's good pose, it's good pose. Anyway, never mind that rubbish. Let's get on and see her rules, because I think I've always been a little bit disappointed by Barbara Gordon's rules, to be perfectly honest, in this game so far. So let's see what we've got. She's a free agent and she works for Batman, all the birds of prey. Important, that one. We likey that. Again, more useful for Batman. I think the Birds of Prey's already got quite a few decent free agents as well. I don't have their box set from the film either, so I struggle to put together a crew for them if I'm not doing Poison Ivy, let's be honest, okay? 71 rep again though, so she's average free agent sort of price range if you can think about it. So let's see her stats. 7 willpower and 6 endurance, so yeah, I mean, it's fair. It's not like it's really low for her rep, but it's not super high either. But again, the stat line is what you do. It's becoming very familiar, this stat line, I've noticed of late. 4/4 for attack and defense, and 12-inch movement. Yeah, so again, comic book characters' stat lines is what I'm going to go with. These are people who are capable of great things, but can't always be counted on to do them. Batlings, once again, the standard throwing fare. Oh, hey, come back, silly paper. Wish they were made a card. They wouldn't do that. But yeah, so yeah, she's good. She's certainly standard. I mean, in a Birds of Prey crew, this will probably stand out more than in the Batman crew. But hey, all right, we'll go into her traits, because here's we've got some interesting things. So as you know, she's got the 4/4 attack and defense. Let's do a combat stats. She's got combo unarmed and reinforced gloves, so that immediately makes her the most damage outputty version of Batgirl I've seen, I think. And I like that. That's a solid piece of damage dealing. She's almost on Nightwing's level in terms of being able to put out the damage, because she can just, all that double stun damage, you can wreck a henchman a turn easily, and you'll be worrying other free agents with that kind of damage output, especially as you see she's got Arrest, a special action which lets you take out an unconscious model, and she's very good at making people unconscious. Gross, scary, dairy, very nasty. Arrest on a model like this is just awesome. I'm really impressed to get that one. She's got the Bat Cape, which is cool. It means she doesn't take full damage ever, not that many people do anymore, but it's useful to have for the future, in my opinion. You never know what they might change falling damage to, and Bat Cape will always be able to get rid of it. Bat Claw, yep, definitely, thank you very much. I'll take that whenever I can get it. Don't forget, like I always do though, that you can't use a Bat Claw and arrest someone in the same turn. It's not possible. Don't do it. Idiot me. Informer is great. Gives you an extra pass. means you can run down your opponent's actions a bit more, so she can hold on and wait for the right time, and just gives you that bit more flexibility in your turn. One of the boys, question mark, interesting. It's a great rule though. It means that she can be inspired by your boss, which for a 71 point free agent is pretty good. Effectively, that and radio, it means that she's always getting that free manipulate action a turn from being inspired. Awesome. Again, just like Nightwing with his additional manipulate action, this makes so much of a difference compared to other versions of this character. You're just not gonna be able to. You can't put a price enough on that extra action during your activation. Per turn. It's just great. And Scout. Awesome. Means that she can move a bit, she can deploy a bit further out of her deployment zone, get that extra little bit of flexibility on turn 1. Nice. Get into that piece of cover that's outside your deployment zone or whatever. It's just useful. And it's one you can do it once and you don't have to worry about it again for the rest of the game, so it's not like you have to constantly worry about it amongst all the other traits you're keeping track of. One thing to note is that she isn't particularly tough. She doesn't have acrobat, which is something that some people take for granted excuse me, on a lot of models these days, so no taking efforts to reduce incoming firepower. She can get killed. She's only defense 4, only 6 endurance. A couple of assault rifle hits will kill her in 1. So yeah, don't hang her about. Again though, in a Batman crew, you can give her the bat armor, gives her that bit of defense, that extra taking off that die could be dashed useful. And there's ways and means, and actually having to think about where you put your models is a good thing in a skirmish game, if you ask me. So there you are. Is she worth it? Is she? Heck yes, she is. I think this is a great version of Batgirl. I think it's the best model, but that's your mileage may vary. There's nothing to say that she's the. I'm not objective. I'm very, I always like the shiny new ones, and I like this material, and I think it holds the best detail. So there you go. There you are. Yeah, it's she's a solid piece of kit to have in your crew. And again, it's the extra activations. You'll get good use out of her too. Right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you agree with all my opinions, because I'm right, of course. No, not really. But yeah, if you think of anything that I missed, or any other perspectives you want to give me at all on these releases, then I'll be happy to hear them in the comments below. Yeah, whatever. I'm now looking forward to painting these up and hopefully getting them in some games. I'm obviously probably going to have to wait for Red Rain Batman at least until the rules are much more freely available, because I don't know what they all are, which is awesome. But yeah, I'll see you next time for some more gaming, and yeah, I'll see you around. You take care, guys. Bye.